So I gotta say, MIGURON, man, they are just knocking it out of the park lately. Seems like it seems like they've just been progressing better and better and better and better and better and better. And this is a beautiful example of what MIGURON can do. They did an exceptional job on this one. This is the MIGURON ARMA, and it is a big boy. This is the biggest one I think they've created yet, especially as far as thickness and just robustness. This is a very robust knife. I think I measured it at like 245 thousandths blade stock thickness, super thick. It's actually relatively thin behind the edge considering the blade stock thickness. I measured it at like 25 thousandths. So this can definitely be more of a multi-tool type of knife. You could definitely get by with some light duty prying. Now, the titanium frame lock, super robust, rock solid lockup. The action is insane on this thing. They actually did a really good job on the clip. The clip is super smooth in and out of the pocket. No problems with that whatsoever. It has this beautiful micro milling over the titanium. You can see how thick that backspacer is. But nice deep mill lines on the scales. And then the blade is M390. And you can call it a drop point. It is pretty much a spear point, which I absolutely love. They did such a good job with that. Now, the action, it's crazy how good this action is for such a big knife like this, and it's so easy to use left-handed. So if you're a left-handed person, I know the clip doesn't flip, but I mean, you can easily reverse flick it left-handed. This is a great one for a lefty. But the flipper tab, it's well jimped. It's relatively comfortable. I mean, it's not uncomfortable at all, but it works so good. It's just, listen, and you can hear it. This thing snaps out there really, really well. Fantastic detent, man. And then, you know, even though the detent is so good for the flipper tab, it's also really good for the reverse flick or thumb flick. I mean, both of them are equally as good. I could reverse flick this with my ring finger. I mean, it is really, really well done. Super snappy, very enjoyable. And then the disengagement, the lock bar, very comfortable. They did a great job chamfering it. It's very easy to get past the detent. The detent is right there. Very easy to get past, and then it is a guillotine. Thing comes slamming down. And you know what? It's only just begun. So, you know, after a month of flipping this thing is just gonna be, it's just gonna hammer down. I mean, it already pretty much does. The blade is so thick you expect it to though, right? So, all in all, you know, for such a robust knife, it's very ergonomic. The blade feels like a 3.5 inch blade, but it's 3.75. I actually had to double check that because I didn't believe it. You know, just putting it in the hand, you know, and it fitting so comfortably in my hand, you know, the choke up spot, super comfortable right here. Perfect finger choil right there. But you don't feel like it's a 3.75 inch blade. It doesn't feel like it's damn near 4 inches, but you know, it feels literally like a 3.5 inch blade. So that's what I thought it was, but then I double checked and yeah, it's 3.75 inches from here to here, which is really, really cool. So, you know, you got a lot of cutting length, but mixed with that, these ergonomics, man. The clip, I don't even hardly feel the clip in my hand. Yeah, they did a very good job on this. You know, you can tell they went through this thing pretty well. I only have really one negative. And, you know, MIGURON, you know, the one thing that I sometimes complain about is their clips, but they did such a good job with this one. It looks good. The tension's not super strong. It's very smooth. But the negative, the one negative I have is just the plunge grind. The plunge grind and sharpening trail could be better. That's it. You know, you can see they plunged it right to the edge. They wish they would have separated that, you know, or just backed this up a little bit so that, you know, this is all the same thickness of the grind. It's a thick grind, so it might be a little bit more difficult for them to do on something like this. Now, you have plenty of room back here if you ever wanted to, you know, cut that out completely or something, or in the future, you know. But yeah, this knife feels like I could jam it into something and pry it out. Like it literally, it feels great, man. It feels like a multi-tool, you know, where yes, it's a cutting tool. Yes, it's a knife. It'll cut just fine. But if you wanted to do some tougher stuff, you absolutely could. Also, they did a really good job making sure the stop pin was nice and big. That's one thing I despise, is when companies make a hard use knife, they make a tough knife, and it just doesn't make sense. You know, one, like the handle doesn't match the blade doesn't match the handle, and then the worst thing is they'll put a little tiny stop pin on something that's supposed to be super thick and robust. They did a good job on this, you know, making sure that that was done. And then also large hardware, you know, obviously, you know, if it's a hard use knife, why would it have small hardware, right? Like, you can have a knife look tough. You can have a knife, you know, like have a lot of details that make it a hard use tough knife. But it's another thing if it's actually a tough knife. If it actually, you know, down to the hardware, down to the core, is it built actually tough? However, they did still mill out the insides, which I'm very happy with. So it does bring down the weight significantly, especially because this thing is such a tank, you know. It doesn't feel very heavy, like super heavy for this knife. It feels about normal. But if they didn't mill it out, it definitely would be a heavyweight. I do kind of wish the satin was a little bit deeper of a satin. I love a satin finish. I just wish it was a deeper satin. Some people like the finer satin, so, you know, this is just, you know, my opinion, or what I like, you know, a little bit more. But it still looks really good. It's got the two-tone satin finish, nice swedge down the spine, robust tip. But it's still low enough and good enough to where you can use it to open things up. The jimping on the spine, you know, when you're choked up like this, it does lock you in really, really well. Yeah, this is a good one. Listen to that lockup too. I'm doing it fast. I'm trying to do it slow. It's pulling itself in. Yeah, that's nice lock bar, lock face geometry. Really, really well done on that. Zero stick, obviously no play. This thing is a damn bank vault. But yeah, it just, opening it up, it surprised me when, you know, when I reverse flicked it, I was like, whoa. That's actually a really good reverse flicker. And then mixed with the flipper tab, I was expecting to be a light detent. I was expecting it to fail, you know, and no, man, they did, and like I said, they did an exceptional job with this. And you know, this makes me excited for what they have coming next, or, you know, a couple new models they have. They have these two new models that I am very interested in. I'm hoping I'm going to get them on the channel very soon. One is the Miro. I haven't tried these yet, but damn it, it looks great. And it has a hollow grind. It looks like it has a dual grind. And then what is the next one? The next one is the Ekri. The Ekri, man, these knives look great, man. I really hope that they're the same quality as this one, because this one is so good. And like I said, you know, MIGURON, they do care about the buyer and, you know, who's purchasing their knives. They do try, you know, and I can tell because I talk to a lot of companies. This is what you guys gotta understand. I talk to a lot of companies. Obviously, I talk to a lot of companies, right? Not very many of them, you know, like contact you and ask you little details. Like, hey, do you think this will be better? This will be better. What do you think about this? Or what's the problem with this? Or, you know what I mean? Like, to where, like, they're actually caring, like, what is the audience going to want from us? What is something that they will like? And, you know, a lot of designers and companies, you know, it's not that they're stubborn or anything, and it's not like that they think they know it all. It's not that. It's just, you know, they want to make things that that they like, I guess, and they don't think sometimes about what the audience wants. And maybe, and I'm not talking about the design, you know, the design is one thing, right? Anybody can design a knife. Anybody can design a knife, and then that's your design. It's the little details, right? What's the jimping like? Does the jimping wrap all the way around the front flipper, right? Does the hole have good access? Is there a good plunge grind and sharpening choil? Is the clip smooth over the seam of your pocket? Is it TA hardware? What type of finish is on the blade? Are the grinds nice and even? You know, is the detent very, very well tuned? Is there good access to the lock bar, and is it very comfortable? You know, little details that make a knife go from good to great. And you can have a great design, but with one, two little details messed up, that it just destroys it, you know? So it's nice when the company tries to find out to the best of their ability of what is the best way to do this that the majority of the people like the most. Anyways, there you guys go. Just a quick look at this new model, the new ARMA. What a beast. And you know what, man? It's under $300. You know, it's not too shabby considering the size, how much material is here, you know. T8 hardware all the way around. I think even the clip, yeah. Anyways, there you guys go. Work hard, stay tough. Until next time, peace.